Am I running 2 or 3 guys?
Alright, what up everybody?
3. I'm running 3.
This is Black Guy Senpai. I'm here with my friend Paul. We're gonna do his Nova Grappler Asura Kaiser
Why do
deck.
you like this?
No perfect risers, completely budget. Paul, how much does this deck cost you?
I think right now 15 ships
$15 shipped. Alright.
for TCG player.
And people have seen the deck actually in action.
People actually wanted the deck profile.
Yeah, they like multiple, like at least 5 people asked about it.
Pretty funny.
So let's go ahead and get into it.
Yeah. Alright. Battle Riser is a starter because it has interactions. Once King of Sword comes out, I'll switch him for Tap to Hyper because I'll explain high powered in a minute.
Well, obviously.
Triggers, 7 fight, 5 draw, and 4 heal. I like this because this deck has no consistency at all. Well, it has a different way. There's no card draw. It just needs a little bit of help. Like, just resolving one of these can swing a game around. I know sacrificing shield value for the 3 minutes, but it doesn't matter. You're not getting that many drive checks in the game, but not so little where you want only fronts. These are way too good not to play. And also they're $1, which is pretty great. I wouldn't go 6 because I don't want to see too many draws. 8, not enough draws. 7's just fine.
And now that
It's not overbearing or anything.
Think you'd ever try out 6-6?
Never. I'm absolutely not. I already know that because I played 6-6 in the old Immortal Asura Kaiser list, which is on the channel. If you scroll down to like 2013, it's on there.
That's what hurts me.
Good history of this in there. Grade 1s.
It's hard to give up.
4 jet, 4 rockets, and 4 transriser. I changed this today from the old list that I actually posted on my channel and your channel. Channel in the description. So I put a 4th one to him because I just want another one. Because sometimes getting gray sucks, and having to mulligan really aggressively is not fun. But you gotta do it in this kind of list. Only for Asura. Perfect Riser, I can just play a 13th one and it's fine. But I explain these things. So Jet Riser I thought was the worst card in this entire deck because it doesn't really do anything because you have to call things, but like if you guys are attacked, he's actually pretty good because you guys die, you keep replenishing him. And when he's out and you call 2 guys, he's 13 because when you call a guy whenever he's anywhere, it's +3 for each. So you have him sit, and you put a guy in like a circle and another spot. He can attack Vanguard now. That's what the whole deck wants to do, is just attack Vanguard. He's a good card. He's another attacker. I'll put him over here. I'm explaining him.
Very annoying, but good card.
Yeah, he gets attacked a lot. The 4 rockets, it's just to justify Cup Bowler. He needs another hero to be 14. I've never used this effect once, and I don't plan on using the effect. It's +5 you boost a hero. He's a type, it's not even a name. And the Transriser, just in case I need the extra counter charge, which never happens. And he can boost for 11, so some magic numbers can happen. With like Balador, he's 28.
I mean, you can do it before like CEO.
With Asura Kaiser, he's 23, and it's not bad.
But I mean, you play both.
He's okay. It's whatever. I'm not playing Riser Custom. I'll explain that later.
Ooh, that's a crit. Put it back on top.
Alright, grade 2s, also doing 12, 4 high powered.
Yeah, but that's like 6
4 Eye Killer, 4 Cup Bowler.
I mean, what else would you play instead?
So these guys are only just attackers. I don't care about their effects at all. They can just poke at Vanguard. Less him, because you actually need Battle Riser behind them. But these 8 guys, their only purpose, their only effect is they can attack Vanguard. And this whole deck only needs to do chip damage. That's it. All I gotta do is just tap, attack the Vanguard. We're good. So if you have 3 rear guards, including him, so it's 2 other ones, he's 14. If you have another hero, he's 14. They're just attackers. Redundancy is good. You want as many attackers as possible. So, high power's weird. I don't actually like him, but I feel like you have to play him because on grade 2, it's like the old Blau Kluger deck where like you're sitting on Blau Kluger and you got Mars over here, and you put so much like pressure on your opponent to guard it, even though guarding is bad. He's just a guy with an effect. I never resolved him. Like, I resolved him a couple times a day after like 4 hours, but it was like 2, maybe. it's whatever. Like I'm gonna try replacing him with King of Sword when we get that promo.
Then again, I don't know how you.
But I mean, I hope it works out more than this guy. I don't know. He can't attack Vanguard. He's only 9.
I mean, I'll put 1 minute.
And grade 3 is doing 9 of them.
I believe in the.
I was doing 10 with the other videos, but I want to go to 9. My boy for Asura, 4 Baldor, and 1 Max. So he's Excel Circle 12K. When you check 2 or 3 with him on Vanguard, you can stand a guy. If it's a 3, that guy can get plus 10 if you counterblast 1. So he has like cool upsides compared to Perfect Riser, but he's not Perfect Riser. So don't play this deck expecting a better card than Perfect Riser. It's not gonna happen. This is too much variance. Regardless of how many 2s and 3s I play, it's still worse than Perfect Riser, which can explain both their price tags. But being able to get plus 10, which is basically a trigger, a real stand trigger actually, is really nice. It is just heavily reliant on variance and deck building.
Yeah.
And then also downside, he can't really attack Vanguard, he's 12. And these guys, originally I had 4 of these in here because I thought he was really cool. But then I learned that the numbers don't matter when you're playing against Force, and you have to prepare for Force matchups because the Excel and Protect matchups, the numbers actually matter. Everything else doesn't. Like these guys, and to some extent these guys, all do the same thing. They all just attack Vanguard. They can just tap for damage, and that's it. It doesn't like. It doesn't matter what their power increase is at all. Because the high power is 15, Jet's 13 or 16, Iron Killer's 14, he's 14, he's 17, and he's 22. It's literally all the same against Force, since everything's intense. So it adds up to your opponent gets a trigger, nothing can hit. That's all that matters. So you just have to try to avoid it, or I don't know, tap and
But I mean, as long as it's on a downward
and
trend.
keep not getting triggers, and you keep going in. So like no boosters matter. Like that's why I'm playing solo ones. It's like don't need to put boosters down. So all I gotta do is attack. So this guy's if you have 3 rear guards, he's 17. So he's a little bit bigger than Iron Killer by a little bit, but he has an Excel marker, which is pretty cool.
I mean, okay, man.
And once per turn, you can kind of bust 1 slow bust 1 to target a guy.
Okay.
And if that guy attacks,
but like Blaster Blade was like 25 for a while. It's maybe back up to 28. He fell lower. He's at 20.
yeah.
Is he at down to like?
Wait, no. Quiet.
It's 28.
OR.
Alright. So when he is ridden, you can put a Excel marker down. Count plus 1, slow plus 1, once per turn, and you can target a guy you control. And when he attacks, if your opponent guards from their hand, they have to put 2 cards down for it. But you can intercept with the attack. It's really lame. I wish it didn't say hand. I wish you can make it so it's intercepting a guy from hand, but it's
as well as the Kagro part.
it comes up. Actually, it kind of comes up. If your opponent's at 5, it sometimes is a better ride than Asura Kaiser. He's not terrible.
No.
Alright, so the cards I'm not playing.
So remember when the trial, Legend
Where are those stupid cards at?
and it got like Denial Griffin.
Alright, him,
So it was like set 7.
him,
And then but then by set 9
him.
it already faded.
Where's the other one?
And then it got a resurgence in like
Him.
set 12 or
I think these are the cards people play.
Yeah.
Purge.
Okay.
Well,
Purge came out in,
Boomerang
like,
Thor,
set
kind
12
of.
or 13.
The 9K vanilla.
I saw some people have been
And
playing
then,
this.
set 14
Alright,
or
so I'm
What
gonna go
I know
Rise
was,
Custom
like,
first, it's
it
most
faded
popular.
really quickly.
So
And so I was
it's
just
cute
like,
that
I'll
you can
just go back
stand
to
it
side.
like
I love
the
this
old
deck.
Beast Deity starter, but the 8 doesn't matter. This deck can't hit 23 because that's how Excel works. You don't want it to be more unfair than Protect, where you have more attackers and they can actually hit the force numbers. So everything's built in a way that they're only supposed to hit 22 when they're boosted. The only exceptions are when you go out of the way of 2s and 1s, it's 3s. It's only going to be him because if he's unboosted, he gets more power than just having Red Custom. So why would you do that?
You need to lock 5.
So this is the only time it matters to get over 23. That's all that matters when you boost. You have to hit the next tier of guarding higher. And just being able
Or is
like
it lock
from
one?
5 to 10k
Lock
shield,
at least
it doesn't
one if you
matter.
have
So it's not worth
Look, I
going
have my
for
binder here.
20.
If
You
one was
know.
locked, you can just lock 4 more. And
So-
still be at a results go.
This is 25, and that's it.
Yeah, that's right.
It's
the counter
if 4
link.
cards in your
That's
deck,
right.
and like, why would you dedicate 4 spaces to a card that doesn't do anything? And attacking turn 1 to sacrifice a card out of it when you don't get a drive check is terrible. You don't want to lose cards in attack with
Then the cross
no card draw at all. So he sucks. I see a text of him at 1 just in case it comes up against like OTC in the mirror match, but I mean if you have to play one of it, I don't know. I
But
just
Phantom Blaster came out then.
play someone else. This guy actually does matter, and they built him have
Yeah,
no
but- and
shield
so this
value,
stride hit right
so that
then,
these
right?
guys can
He-
hit
he
23.
killed it.
But he has no shield
They came
value.
out at the same time.
It-
Stride happened.
If you're
So, I
committing
figured
so
that
much
the
that
thing
you have to
that's
put
like,
boosters
you hit
down,
cards,
I
screw
don't
you,
think you're
but
playing it right.
Spin the meta.
You're probably already winning at that point. And maybe not playing it right is giving too much credit, but
I don't want to
if you're winning so much you can actually put grade 1s down,
really obnoxious game.
it's already in. Yeah, so these are just 23, but he has no shield value, so he's like it's hard to justify him. I might have to try him though, but it only helps these 2 since 8 on him is enough, and 9 on him doesn't matter. So I don't know. It's asking for a lot for a card with no text on it. I don't know. I don't recommend
I mean, it
it.
has text.
I mean, it has one line of
Yeah.
flavor text, but
Yeah, you have his name.
yeah, he's got a name.
So 2 lines.
Yeah, he's also not a hero, so that kind of sucks. He is a hero though, boomerang thrower. In this list, I don't recommend it because there's not enough counterblast and soul blast to justify a card that refills everything. He doesn't attack Vanguard either.
So what if you were running Perfect Riser? Then what?
I'd have to test him. I've seen lists with 1. I still just think of him as a 13th hero, but because Transriser takes care of the extra soul that like will inevitably need to be used, and like the 6th counterblast really, because if your opponent lives after 3 perfect risers, then I mean you lost. So I don't know. It's more like if you're not confident in the amount of heroes in your deck, you want a 13th. You can play him, but he will not attack Vanguard. He's only 9. So I don't know. It's more for perfect riser than anything. First riser could have been for Asura Kaiser, but he only gets +3 when he stands. Again, when your opponent's at limit break. So when your Vanguard attacks, Shadow West wants to stand him, and if your opponent's got 4 more damage, he's +3. He's only 12. 12 is bad, like I just said about all the other guys, really, and how his deck's supposed to be played. It's a really good effect with a really bad downside that makes it fair. Good card design. It could swing the mirror and the protect matchup, but not against force, and you have to prepare against force because that's the worst possible scenario, and everything else is just better than that. So it's just in the one deck that you actually have the counterblast and the soul blast for, it's not worth playing.
So, what would your changes be if you were gonna put Asura Kaiser in here?
Perfect riser in here.
Yeah, Perfect Riser. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. At this point, like right now, probably just take them out. Take out Asura for perfect because I'm at 9 grade 3s, and I feel like I want the extra attacker. I've seen lists with 8, there's 4 and 4 perfects, and just like the standard stuff with like an extra 1, which would be like the riser custom, just for a little more like mulligan consistency. If it comes down to it, that would probably have to be it. But this deck is basically a carbon copy of Perfect Riser, just with a different grade 3, who's worse. It's actually nothing special. So like, everyone asking for a deck profile is like, I mean, it's the same deck with interchangeable grade 3s.
I don't know. It might just be the way that you play is different.
Maybe, but like, well, 'cause I feel like people haven't learned how to do Novas yet because it's so complicated. I think people are put off by the fact that they think that you have to play Novas like you had to play the old Novas where you needed boosters and guys just stood on their own, where it's not reliant on attack order as much. Whereas in this deck, in all my matches that you can see, I attack in a way where I go for no triggers on the top of my deck like I always play, because that's the way you should play. You should go for worst possible scenario, and it'll work out. I mean, if you get a trigger, it's your whoop-de-doo, but you gotta play it like you're not gonna get a trigger, and a lot of times you just have to attack with guys before getting fronts, and I'm assuming people are thinking like, oh, fronts will get me out of everything, but it's still just a trigger. Like, you can just not get it. It's only 8 or 7 or 6 cards in your deck. So maybe that's it. I don't know. I mean, shoutouts to VanguardUS.net. He's a guy in Columbus, actually, Ohio boys. He posted an article on the Nova Grappler player who was the first guy to win a Japanese Vanguard Championship with Nova Grapplers. He beat OTT in the finals. He went like 8-1.
Yeah.
And the Nova Grappler guy won, but the OTT guy had to G-assist like 3 times, but he still won. So I'm not going to discredit him for that. And I based the list off of what he had, and the guy who played it wrote an article on how to build and play the deck and all its matchups, and it was so helpful. And I had to change my entire list to what that guy was saying. I forgot his name. I apologize, but and I was playing out with this new list and how I'm supposed to do my turns and do my attacks and do the matchups, and it was just amazing. Like the no booster thing, knowing what order to attack the vanguards, what cards to keep out, where to put everything. It was so helpful, and this deck it opened up the potential for this deck. I thought this deck was the worst. I thought Nova Grapplers were the absolute worst, and that's why they were like $50. But I legit think they're pretty good. They're better than Royal Paladins, I'll tell you that much. Royal Paladins are like...
Royal Paladins do a lot of thinning, but they don't do much
They
else.
do a lot of things, but they don't do a lot of things. They're, in my opinion, they're the worst deck in the game. But
we only have 4 decks right now.
Right. But in numbers, like this is going to look like the worst because no one's playing it, which is fine because people aren't willing to put the time into it. But it has potential. It has a really good OTT matchup because Excel should beat Protect, Protect should beat Force, Force beats Excel. So, in theory, you'll have a good matchup. It's really just, you just gotta give it a shot. I mean, if you can get the perfect risers, get the perfect risers. If you really just want to get something in the standard and you want something to learn, spend like the $15 to grab this deck and get perfect risers later. But again, don't expect like this is gonna be a better deck than perfect riser. It's not by any stretch of the imagination. It is harder for your opponent to play around because they can't choke you with damage since he doesn't take Counterblast to stand. So there's that upside. But
which definitely made it a lot harder when I went against it.
It's hard to play against Asura Kaiser because it's all variance, it's all randomness, all stuff on top of your deck.
He's like that crazy uncle that wears the boxers with a dick hole in them. You don't know where he's coming from.
Because in theory, this deck should have this. Let's do one of those. This is just how many triggers in the deck with Asura Kaiser. It's always been that way. I think that's like really cool. Well, not really this way because like now, minus these guys, like because these guys now get to be triggers, which is nice. There's extra 11 because you have to ride one and whatnot. So it's cool. I like the new Asura Kaiser, but he's not amazing. He is what he is. He's actually a solid secondary grade 3. But yeah, there's a deck.
Can I see what card it is?
Alright, well, hopefully we can look forward to when you build Tachi's next. Because what you're just going to do is all the Excel claims.
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing all Excel stuff because it's such a cool mechanic. Like the front triggers are like really nice.
Yeah, it gives everybody power.
Yeah.
Share the wealth. It's like EXP all for Pokemon.
Like I'm fine with no crits. Like it's cool.
Yeah.
I used to play Glendios. I put like 3 crits in there. It's like I'm fine with no crutch really. It's a terrible way to say it, but like I'm gonna play something that's out of the ordinary in standard because it's exciting and interesting, which I haven't done in a long time. I haven't just straight up played like an interesting deck. I played Sanctuary for like a year or something like that. I played Thingsaver for like a year. So I was kind of just playing the best deck, and now I don't have to because everything can beat everything on any given day. The standard's cool. It's really nice. It got me back into the game because I wasn't playing for a long time. And we'll have matchups of this coming up, so on both of our channels.
Yeah, there's actually some. I just uploaded one this morning.
Yeah, there's stuff up. Yeah, on both of our channels. Mine will be in the description.
All right. Yeah. So if people want to reach you, is there anywhere they can reach you at? Like
Twitter at Ninja Shred, just like my YouTube. I have a Twitch of it, but I haven't streamed in a year, so don't bother. So if you actually do want to chat about this deck, just DM me on Twitter. I will respond unless you're an idiot. I get a lot of stupid comments on Twitter, believe me, because speedrunning.
Alright, well, ladies and gentlemen,
You know,
this has
I
been
don't
Black
think that was
Guy.
better than
That's
Tom
Ninja
was.
Shred. We're out.